the vast, golden savanna where the wind carried whispers of ancient legends, a tiny lion cub named Kito was born. The moon glowed red that night, and the elders said destiny itself had taken a breath. Kito was the smallest cub ever born to the royal pride of the Sunstone Kingdom. His paws were too soft to hunt, his roar just a frightened chirp. But fate had already wrapped its claws around him. The kingdom, once united under the mighty King Jabari, was unraveling. Darkness crept in from the Shadowlands, where a ruthless rogue lion named Malakar had gathered an army of exiled beasts, fueled by hatred and an ancient grudge. As Kito grew, he was mocked by other cubs and dismissed by warriors who valued only size and ferocity. He found comfort in the stories of his grandmother, Amara, a blind old lioness who spoke of balance, courage, and how the smallest flame can burn down the darkest night, while his older brother, Prince Rowan, trained to be king with thunderous roars. Kito explored hidden paths. He befriended animals others ignored, learned the rhythms of the land, and watched quietly as cracks formed in the kingdom. Waterholes dried up, tempers flared, and fear of Malakar's approach spread like wildfire. One fateful dawn, Malakar's forces struck. They caught the kingdom unprepared, overwhelming its warriors with sheer brutality. In the chaos, King Jabari fell defending his pride. Prince Ruin was gravely injured. As the kingdom fell into despair, Malakar claimed the throne, declaring the end of the Sunstone line. But in the smoke and screams, one tiny cub escaped unnoticed. Guided by instinct and his grandmother's words, Kito slipped through a forgotten tunnel, leaving his ruined home behind. Alone, terrified and guilt-ridden, Kito wandered far beyond the borders. He believed he had failed everyone. Exhaustion finally forced him to collapse near a hidden oasis. There, he was found by unlikely allies, a wise old tortoise named Sefu, a quick-witted jackal named Nale, and a wounded eagle named Ara. Each carried their own scars from Malakar's tyranny. Together, they taught Kito lessons no royal training ever could. From Sefu, he learned patience, from Nale, cleverness, and from Ara, vision. He began to understand that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Seasons passed. Kito never grew into the massive lion others expected, but his heart became unshakable. His mind grew sharp, his bond with the land deep. He could sense shifts in the wind, hear the lies beneath words, and understand the fears even his enemies tried to hide. He soon learned that Malakar's rule was tearing the kingdom apart from within. The tyrant forced creatures into endless war, hoarding resources and turning allies against each other. Kito knew he could no longer run. He had to return. With a plan built not on strength but on unity, Kito went back in secret. He reached out to the oppressed herds, reminding them of the old balance. He sparked hope through quiet conversations and daring acts of kindness. Soon, whispers of resistance flowed through the savannah like underground rivers. Malakar eventually sensed the rebellion and prepared to crush it with a final, brutal assault. Just then, Kito stepped out of the shadows. He stood before the entire kingdom, small, scarred, and shaking, but unbowed. He spoke not with a roar, but with truth. He exposed Malakar's lies, revealing how fear had been used to divide them. He challenged the beasts to choose, to live under a rule of cruelty or to rise together through courage. Malakar laughed at the tiny cub and lunged to silence him forever. But it was the kingdom itself that rose up. Lions, antelope, birds, and beasts fought side by side, driven not by hatred, but by a renewed hope. In the end, Malakar fell not to Kito's claws, but to his own isolation as the very land rejected him. When the dust settled, the sun rose on a free savannah once more. The survivors gathered before Kito, expecting him to claim the throne. But the tiny lion who had saved a kingdom chose a different path. He chose to restore balance. He appointed leaders from many species, healed old wounds, and ruled not as a king above all, but as a guardian among them. He proved forever that true power is not measured by size, strength, or fear, but by heart, wisdom, and the bravery to stand when it matters most. And as the elders would later say, the Sunstone Kingdom was not saved by the loudest roar, but by the quiet courage of a tiny lion cub, who believed even the smallest voice could change the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. We'll see you next time.